What's going on, everyone? So we should be streaming in. We're really excited to just tackle some of the best TikTok ad strategies for e-commerce in 2025. I am Ethan Kramer from Agital, and I'm joined by Jimena, who is our TikTok agency rep, and we'll be sharing a ton of great insights. So we're going to give everybody a minute or two to pop in. We see a lot of you already joining. And yeah, we're very excited about this. We missed out on all the fun at Shop Talk that we know a lot of people are getting into. So we have a little bit of FOMO, but we're going to make up for it and show everyone a really good time in this webinar with just a lot of really great information that you can bring back to your ad accounts, you can bring back to your in-house team. And of course, if you have questions for our team at Agile, we're here to help. So, Jimena, how's everything going in your neck of the woods today?
All is well. Like you said, definitely having a little bit of shop talk FOMO. Apparently my colleagues ran into someone famous yesterday. I didn't know who they were, but all my coworkers were freaking out about it. So there was a celebrity sighting at Shop Talk.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know that we had a dinner last night with our friends at Clavio and we had a bunch of brands there. I think some people from TikTok too. And I haven't gotten the rundown of that event yet, but I talked to one client who was there who said they had a great time. So cool. Well, we're gonna get started, but I do have a quick little intro question for everyone. So if we can queue up the poll, I think that would be amazing. And we are just curious, like it's all about the audience for us, right? We want to make sure that we deliver the most value during this webinar, and knowing where you're coming in from is key for us. So, we might have some people here who have never run TikTok ads before, right? Let us know, right? Please. We might have some people that are currently spending like tons of money on ads. They're running 50K monthly budgets or 100K monthly budgets, right? Or we might have some people that are just getting going, dipping their feet in, right? They're spending, but they're like, I know that there's opportunity here. We just haven't cracked it yet and found the right KPIs to be able to scale up. So no matter where you are in your TikTok journey, we're going to have a lot of really great info for you on this webinar. But we do want to know, and we always just love seeing it. So I see almost 55% of people here have not gotten started yet on TikTok ads. I got to say, what are you waiting for? The people that conquer TikTok today are going to be the ones that win in commerce, specifically e-commerce, but commerce overall in the future. This is really something I just wholeheartedly believe in. It's where discovery is happening, right? Now you have the consideration and the closed loop, the ability to buy with TikTok Shop all in the app, but then it's also driving retail. And we've seen this with a number of our clients where they might start on TikTok, right? And now they're selling in Costco or now they're selling in Wegmans. I'm from Rochester, New York, so I got to give a shout out to Wegmans over any of the other higher end grocery stores, right? And so it's really where the brands can be built these days versus other platforms that maybe have higher startup costs, more competition, more testing. TikTok is, and also just innovating so fast. I think when we first started on the platform, back in 2019, 2020, it was a different place than it is now. So we're really excited to share. And if you haven't started yet, no worries. This is the exact webinar you want. And after this, you're going to be able to just hit the ground running. So, all right. And it looks like kind of a nice split between some people who haven't started and then people that are already spending 5K plus per month. So really awesome. Um, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself. So you feel like you have that background, we have that connection. So I have been in performance marketing really my entire professional career. So I first got started running Facebook ads. I was actually a bartender and I started doing these event invitations and getting people to show up. And I was like, wow, this is really powerful. Marketing is going to change forever. This is what I want to do. So I was in New York for a number of years doing audience development and doing some e-commerce stuff. And I launched my own drop shipping store. Around that time, I was also dating someone who was in New York, but originally from Monterrey, Mexico. And we kind of did that for a few years. I was working and testing some stuff, and she was in New York, but then she wanted to go back to Monterrey to start a beauty salon. And I basically said, all my family and friends, I know some of yours, but not really. This is my opportunity. So I ended up quitting my job, moving down to Mexico. This is 2017. So this is before like the digital nomad stuff really started popping off. and running ad accounts, and primarily on Facebook and Instagram at that time, right? Started working at a few different agencies as a contractor, found some things that worked, discovered social commerce, and said, hey, I want to do this on my own. And so I started an agency called EK Creative in 2020 that was really focused on a lot of short form video, a lot of influencer, a lot of community oriented brands. And we scaled that up really quick through word of mouth. And I always kind of told the team, hey, if the food that we're putting out is good, people are going to find us, right? Like the results are going to speak for themselves. Coming from that background in hospitality, I kind of lived and breathed that. And so we scaled really quick just through word of mouth and referrals. In 2021, we started testing some other services, right? TikTok ads, email marketing were the two biggest. And then in 2022, TikTok found us and they kind of snuck into my inbox and said, hey, we're launching this thing, TikTok Shop. We see what you're doing live shopping. We see what you're doing with social commerce, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So we onboarded one of our clients at that time who was seeing some success with TikTok ads. This was November of 2022. And we just went full speed ahead. Team was busy with Black Friday. I was peeling back the layers. Oh, looks like something happened there. Let me see what just happened. Sorry about that. All right, I think we're back in business now. I don't know what that was. So the team was really busy. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We were peeling back the layers of TikTok Shop. We had the second ever purchase on the platform, and really the rest is history. We continued to invest in it. And 2023, joined Agile as a partner here, and our agency folded into the mission that we're building with Agile. And then this year, we actually got introduced to Jimena. We have some big news on the TikTok for business side, but I'll toss it over to you and let you kind of give your intro and background because I know it's super impressive too.
Thank you. It's always funny to hearing that, people get their start with ads sometimes through drop shipping, because actually I have a lot of colleagues who got their start that way too. And we always joke around. We're like, no way. Like, why is half of our team like, you know, drop shippers or had that experience, so it's funny to hear. But hey everyone, so nice to meet everyone. My name is Jimena. I'm an agency partner manager at TikTok based in Austin. I've been at TikTok for nearly 3 years. Half of that time I spent supporting direct advertisers like yourselves, and then the latter half I've spent partnering with agencies like Agital.
Awesome. And we're very, very thankful to have you. You've been great to partner with, always there to help our clients introduce new ideas and just help us continue to innovate, which is really what we're all about at Agile. So, I kind of gave you my background and how I joined the team here. But Agile itself was really the first major e-commerce agency, the first ever Google Ads partner. And that's what attracted me to the Agile team. I didn't want to have my team fold into just another social commerce or TikTok agency. I knew that there was this world of Google, PR, SEO, these amazing things that Agile has so much experience with that I would benefit from. So when we joined the Agile team overnight, we gained this 27 years of e-commerce focused digital marketing experience, and it's one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And the philosophies that we've developed are really, really just sound across the board. So we lead with strategy. We go very deep into insights and understanding the business and the business goals. And then we like to find action items in the data, right? It all comes down to these results that we deliver for clients. Like I said, the results are really what drives everything as an agency. And then we really lean into like brand plus performance. So we'll get into this, like no matter where you are in your marketing journey, and it changes, right? We have some clients that come on that are very focused on performance at the start. They're just launching a D2C store. Every dollar in matters, right? And then we have other clients that come to us and they're pushing retail and they want to run more brand awareness campaigns, right? And we're really good at measuring how that feeds performance and vice versa. And really just sound philosophies of every service that we run come back to these four pillars. And we have some really exciting news as well. So we are, I believe, like the newest TikTok for Business badged partner. So there's only a handful of agencies in the US that have this level of accreditation on the TikTok For business side, obviously, we're also a TikTok shop partner. We're a TikTok creative agency partner, and we have a really, really awesome live shopping team. So I think if there's anyone that has all those levels of accreditation across the TikTok world, I'm not familiar with them. And so I think we're one of a kind in what we do. And this really just allows us to test new things. Like we were one of the early testers in GMV Max, keyword search. We like to leverage all the tools within Seller Center like CRM. And we're really, really knowledgeable across affiliate and live shopping. So some really exciting stuff. But honestly, that's enough about us. Let's get into TikTok, right? And why I really believe this is the platform that everyone needs to be taking advantage of right now if you want to see success now, but also into the future. And so, Human, I would love for you to just share a little bit about like how TikTok's audience is so unique when compared to other social channels.
Absolutely. And Ethan, I know you said enough about us, but just wanted to hype you guys up really, really quickly one more time. Because at this time, there are less than 20 badged agencies in all of North America, I believe. So the fact that you guys are not only badged, but also TikTok shop partners really means a lot. And Ethan knows it. We hold our badged agencies to a really high standard,
Yeah,
and they meet those standards.
it would be an
Um,
intense process.
exactly. Yeah. Anyway, kind of, changing gears a little bit. Let's talk about TikTok. That's why we're here. TikTok is very unique in a lot of different ways. So, for example, its ability to build thriving communities, its ability to connect brands to consumers in like a way that I really don't think has ever been done before. And our audience as well is very unique. So as we can see here, 60% of our users are not on Facebook, 73% are not on Pinterest, 44% are not on Instagram. So what this does is it presents a unique opportunity for brands to connect and reach brand new audiences that they've never been able to reach before.
Definitely. And they're so engaged on the platform. I mean, you think about the watch time on TikTok, I believe it's the highest out of any social platform, right? So not only are they not on other platforms, but they actively use TikTok more than anything else, which is really incredible. And I would say, I was just going to chime in there, Rob, the slides are definitely being recorded and will be distributed after. So, and everybody keep the questions coming. I like to monitor the chat pretty frequently here. So, I will transition to this and just say TikTok made me buy it, right? Like TikTok isn't just driving commerce online, like it's really driving commerce across the whole ecosystem. So Jimena, I would love like any insights you want to share on this, but
Yeah.
it's been pretty incredible to see how brands can go from no sales to launching on TikTok Shop to then again selling out on TikTok Shop, then going to their Shopify, then going to retail. It's just very unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in e-commerce.
Yeah, I think the important thing to note about this movement is that it was created by our community. Like it was not some sort of TikTok marketing campaign where we were like, yeah, TikTok made me buy it. I mean, it became part of our story and it became part of our marketing narrative. But really, it was community driven. And it's, more than 1 billion people worldwide coming to TikTok to be entertained, get inspired, educated, and now, of course, with TikTok Shop, also now they're on our platform to do just that, to shop.
Yeah, and I think like this goes back to 2020, 2021, 2022. So much discovery was happening. And this is when we were really running ads in the early days. It was harder to prove that return on ad spend because what would happen is people would discover on the platform, but then they'd go to Amazon to buy it. And I remember talking to a friend of mine and saying, hey, we have this opportunity with TikTok Shop. They've come to us, they're launching this new thing. So before anyone knew what TikTok Shop was, and she looked me dead in the eyes and she goes, oh my gosh, I buy so many things off of TikTok, right? And I was like, oh, tell me more about this. And she's like, yeah, I discover them there. I go to Amazon, I search and I buy. And I think it's just such a smooth process now with TikTok Shop, right? And then you get the replication of all the traditional elements of a digital marketing funnel that we're all used to coming from, kind of like the meta world, right? And this idea of upper funnel, middle funnel, lower funnel. TikTok has the what I would call the foundational layers, which we'll talk through here. But then there's so many other elements to this that allow you to leverage different levers to pull within their ecosystem. So I'll let you talk to the foundational things, and then I'll share a few more I think that we'll get into later on in the PowerPoint that really just complete that ecosystem.
Yeah. And both pre TikTok shop and post TikTok shop, what I keep hearing too over and over again is like, oh yeah, we stop, TikTok ads and then our Google ROAS drops, right? Or our Amazon return drops. And it's because, yes, like TikTok is now a platform where you can make purchases, but at its core, it's also a discovery platform. And so it
Totally.
really goes full circle now where you can discover and also buy on TikTok. And when it comes to this, more traditional marketing funnel, we know that most advertisers are very conversion driven. But what we encourage is really focusing on long-term growth and, your client retention. So as opposed to just going for your low-hanging fruit, your, ready to buy audience, we're trying to unlock long-term growth for brands. And we aim to leverage at least three of the objectives at once that you see on the screen. And we're able to do that by, for example, leaning into Agital's affiliate network, where we're able to tailor each piece of evergreen content for different steps of the funnel.
Yeah, and I think too, what's unique about TikTok is how fast some of these things can happen, right? You could have someone go from discovery to conversion in 30, 45 seconds if you have the right creative. They're still going through each phase there, right? But then ultimately, it's not this drawn out process. Additionally, like live shopping and affiliate, right, can be leveraged at each section of this funnel. You have the shop tab now, where it functions more of like a marketplace. So there's just so many things out there, and something we're starting to test a little bit more of. I'm curious for your thoughts on this. Are actually carousel formats too, because we're finding that it's a nice way to kind of interrupt the normal pattern within the feed. You can do some cool storytelling there. And I don't know, it feels like TikTok likes that because it's just something sort of different on the platform. So I love that you included that within the traffic area. All right. Now, introduction of shops, right? So we kind of touched on this closed loop solution. This is when really things started to take off for us in terms of where we would recommend clients spend advertising dollars. When TikTok shop ads started launching with video shopping, product shopping ads, and then the introduction of GMV Max, we just saw the return honestly be on a different level than we had seen across other campaigns. So I would recommend everybody to take advantage of this. Like the TikTok can be a platform. I actually did an audit recently for TikTok Shop, right? They're doing affiliates, they're talking to our team, and there was this disconnect because I'm looking at what they're running in TikTok Shop and they have these huge network of affiliates, right? And there's a lot of opportunity there. And they're generally like not doing a bad job on affiliate. But then I go back and their ads are all website conversion campaigns, right? So they are putting all this effort into one area of the platform and then putting all this effort into another that is not working together. And I say this because like they're even running some affiliate content, Spark ads, which I love to see. We'll talk more about those later, but they're not optimizing it for TikTok Shop. They're pushing people back to the website. And you think about if you're a buyer, right? Your ability to check out so quickly, the credit card saved, right? It's like Amazon, maybe even faster at this point on TikTok Shop versus going to a website, going through the product page, right? Looking at these different options, then going through the checkout process. It's just like more friction. And the more you can cut down on a friction process, the more you're going to see conversion rates increase. And we see this directly, and we like to test website conversion versus shop ads, but 9 out of 10 times we see shop ads performing better. And if you're making efforts to grow your TikTok shop, but then you're running campaigns that push to website conversion, those efforts aren't necessarily working together as much as they could. So I definitely recommend that you take advantage of shop ads. The way you can do this, right? And we're going through this right now. We just got a client who we're launching today. I literally was working on the campaigns before this, and we're in this cold start phase. They haven't seen traction on the platform yet. They've got their products listed, their seller center set up, right? And I'm like, all right, let's test out some product shopping ads on a low budget, start doing some audience testing in here, building off some data that we can then scale. At the same time, the creative team is working together to put together some video shopping ads, right? Because we know those are going to really help to grow GMV. Then we're going to be able to kind of see which ones are working best, video shopping versus product shopping ads, and scale accordingly. Play around with different levers that we can pull. Again, depends how aggressive the client wants to be, whether it's putting some sort of bid on the customer acquisition cost or target ROAS campaigns, right? And then at the same time, we're going to start doing live shopping for that client and testing some live shopping ads to grow their top of funnel, but also help convert, right? And then we like to build out in this phase affiliate dedicated campaigns too. So you're seeding these products to affiliates. You're starting to plug those Spark codes back into these campaigns as video shopping ads, right? You're giving the creative direction to those affiliates, not like telling them, hey, here's your script, but here's some things that have worked for us, right? Here's some inspiration. They go out and they create feeds content. We know that quality is important, but quantity is also important. And then, right, you want to get to this really growth stage, you start looking at GMV max, you start optimizing your spend accordingly. So you've tested these different things, and then you're able to double down on the ones that work best for you. This is really important because some accounts we see GMV max totally crush. Other accounts we find a lot more success running video shopping ads out of an ad account. But unless you test those things at the start, you're not really going to know. So this is kind of the growth plan that we like to put our clients on, and very similar to what TikTok recommends. Anything you would add in here, Jimena? All
No,
right.
you guys crushed it.
I told you when we were just getting ready to jump in here, I can talk. So you're letting me loose on these slides. We got a question here from Kelly that I do want to get to. So what do you recommend if our brand has many legal restrictions with integrating with TikTok? We want to upload products to TikTok Shop, but can't allow TikTok to put a pixel on our site or have any access to a site. So with TikTok Shop, you actually don't need the pixel. You can have TikTok Shop function without a website pixel. The biggest question there is going to be your product feed. You can do manual uploads on TikTok Shop, but managing your inventory with your 3PL or your current fulfillment operations is where things are probably going to get tricky. So that would be what I would think about. Now, if you have like an evergreen product that you're just always in stock, you can do manual upload and manage it that way. But I would probably go back to your legal team and make a case that, hey, the opportunity here is really, really huge for us. What do we need to do to get through these hoops? Because I do think that if you're not running TikTok Shop, you're missing out on a lot of revenue there. All right, so let's get into, right, we just gave you the roadmap. Let's dig a little bit deeper into each one of these things. So you might be saying, hey, Ethan, product shopping ads sound great. Like, what are those? So this is where we're going to talk through that. So product shopping ads are where you're able to reach users in the shop tab and in search, right? So it functions kind of like a marketplace. These users have really, really high intent. Conversion rates from these campaigns are typically really, really high, right? They're looking for these products. You're able to maximize your exposure to the right users, whether they're familiar with your brand or not. TikTok is obviously known for its algorithm, and this is a way to leverage that, right? They're also very easy to get off the ground because they pull in from your product feed and your product descriptions. So one of the best ways you can actually optimize these campaigns is by going into your seller center and looking at the recommendations that TikTok's putting forward, right? So if your product titles are optimized, your product descriptions are optimized, your product imagery is optimized, you have really strong reviews, right? Like you see that rating, you have a lot of items sold. Those are all going to really, really help your product shopping ads. A lot of people refer to these as PSA campaigns, right? And even your response time. So you'll see when you do all these things right, you're going to get this star shop badge, and your product shopping ads are just going to perform even better. The other thing that's great about product shopping ads is they are less subject to a high volume of creative compared to like video shopping ads or other types of campaigns that you run, because the creative is literally the product page. So if you're familiar with like Google and Google shopping ads, right? These are somewhat similar to that. Not exactly the same, but I think that's like a good frame of reference if you're coming in from more of a Google or a Meta background. All right, video shopping ads are next, right? So these are probably what you think about when you hear TikTok, right? You think about these short form videos, very engaging, fast cuts, music in the background, right? And these are really awesome because it's an in-feed experience that feels very seamless to check out. So we had all this product discovery happening on TikTok. People would watch these videos, but then they'd have to leave the app. They'd have to go to Amazon. They'd have to remember what to search in, try and find a similar product, right? Sometimes maybe they get it, sometimes they don't. And then they'd have to check out on Amazon. It's a clunky experience for everybody. A lot could go wrong there. It's just more work. So video shopping ads allow you to see the product right in the video feed, click on it, look at the product details, right? Add to cart, buy right now. Your credit card can be saved on the platform, and it's super, super seamless. There's no pixel integration required here. So we talked about that was one of the questions that we got earlier, right? And it actually functions again. You connect it all to your Shopify. So it basically creates this additional sales channel for you. And you can also segment out different audiences based off activity here. So one of the things I like to do is we'll use video shopping ads as like a top of funnel strategy. And then for some of our product shopping ads, we'll create audiences of people that have clicked an add to cart or have viewed a product page, right, on the app. And then we'll retarget them with product shopping ads. So it's a nice way to kind of segment out your campaign types. And got to give a shout out to our friends at Willow Boutique. They were crazy enough to test with us on TikTok Shop when we first brought it to them. They actually were the ones who had the second ever purchase on the platform. And so I gotta give credit to Adam and Chelsea there, who have been just amazing clients for us and always down to test new features. Then next, we want to talk about live shopping ads. So live shopping ads are kind of like the third piece of what we really like to run on clients. Now you have to be going live to run live shopping ads, kind of like makes sense, right? But what these do are really help to maximize the efforts that you're putting into your live, right? You're starting to go live, you get a few reps under your belt, you're like, wow, these are going great, but I need more viewers on here, right? This is where live shopping ads come in. We typically see these have really, really low CPMs, really, really high engagement rates. And there's just something very unique about joining a live shopping stream that's totally different than viewing content just in your feed. Like I like to kind of reference this as like viewing content in your feed is like you walk down a street and you see a lot of stores. You're like, oh, that looks like a cool store. That looks like a cool store. Live shopping ad is when you make that decision to like enter the store and you can talk to a sales rep. You can start asking questions, right? You remember that experience so much more. And live shopping can touch on every aspect of the marketing funnel within literally a span of 10 seconds, right? You can have people in there who are totally new, just discovering your product. You can have people in there who might say, I'm thinking about buying this, but I'm not sure. I can ask a question directly to that sales rep. And you might have people in there that are like, I've bought in 5 of these items. I'm your biggest fan. I love joining your lives. They're engaging, they're fun. It feels like you're hanging out with people. So live shopping ads are not, again, where I would recommend you start. But once you get going with product shopping ads and video shopping ads, definitely feel live shopping ads are a really big piece that can just help you scale much faster. And what we love about live shopping in general and live shopping ads is it has this ripple effect on everything else that you do in the platform. So the more you go live, the more people are going to discover you. That's more opportunity to retarget them with product shopping ads. It's more opportunities for them to see your affiliate content. It's more opportunities for them to see your video shopping ads. And you'll even see like affiliates join these live shopping ads and say, ooh, I might have 50K followers and I was looking for a product to sell. I like this vibe. I want to sell this. I want to start getting samples and promoting your product, right? You're not going to get that from someone just watching your video. It's such a deeper connection here. Live shopping will definitely work if you hire an agency to do this. Freddie, I'm a little biased here because we offer it as a service, but I can tell you confidently we've scaled multiple brands like Aroma Concepts and Prime Brownies from 0 to 100K in live shopping revenue in less than 30 days. So and this doesn't include all the other revenue from that spillover effect that they get on the platform. So very confident that an agency can work. Again, like anything, when you work with an agency, you're going to want to commit to a true partnership there, right? You're going to want to give them insights, give them direction, right? They're going to need to get to know your brand. They're going to need to get to know your KPIs. And look, like if you're just starting off, you've got a few thousand followers, right? The live shopping strategy might be different than going out there and getting a ton of sales right away. It might be more of a brand engagement, brand activation. First month, you're looking at followers, you're looking at audiences, right? And then month 2, you switch to more revenue. So it kind of depends on where you are, but definitely recommend working with an agency. TikTok's got a lot of great partners for this. We're obviously one of them, but encourage everyone to do their own research and check it out as well. Because obviously I've got some skin in the game here, but I do think we've got the case studies to back it up. All right. Let's
Just
shift
a
it over
quick
to
note.
you. Oh,
A
go ahead.
quick note on LSA. I think too, like it is a more like kind of more of like a labor of love and a more labor intensive product to leverage just because like the brands that are successful with live shopping ads are brands that are on live for multiple hours a day. So a lot of work goes into that, and that's why, you know, the more help you can get, the better.
Definitely. I
Yeah,
would say too, I talked about this on a LinkedIn post recently. Live shopping, you're going to have direct benefits, right? It's like going to the gym. One of the direct benefits that you usually go to the gym for is to like gain muscle, right? Or potentially lose, like, you're trying to lose some weight. So those are like oh yeah, direct benefits. I can see it, I can measure it. What you can't measure quite as easily is like when you start going to the gym, do you have more energy during the day, right? Do you feel more clear mentally? Do you sleep better at night? Are you generally happier? Right? Those are harder to correlate directly, but typically you do see that when you start working out. I think that's the same with live shopping. You're going to see revenue, you're going to see followers. What's going to be harder to track, right, are the people that tune into a live shopping ad on Monday and buy the product on Friday through a video shopping ad, right? Or just go to your TikTok shop because they remember that product and they just got paid and they're like, I got to get that now, right? So there's all these indirect benefits that I do think are harder to measure. And that's where I think it goes into what you said too, is like the more you invest and the more frequently you do it, the more success you're going to see. If you're going to do live shopping once for a month and say, oh, well, I didn't get any sales and it didn't work, it's not, that's not a good strategy. You really have to invest in it. And the more you commit to the live shopping, the more the live shopping will reward you.
100%. Yes. Um, and it's also like trying to make sure that the content, again, you're live for hours and hours, is engaging throughout. And I feel like a lot of like LSAs, they feel like a party. Like I was scrolling on TikTok this morning and I jumped into a live shopping ad because they were playing Umbrella by Rihanna. And I'm like, what product is this? Like, why are they blasting Rihanna right now? So yeah, definitely. And I think also speaking of these products, not LSA in particular, but definitely video shopping ads, there is more demand than ever for content, for entertaining content. And this really does include ads. So both creative quantity and quality really matter and are going to be fundamental to your success on TikTok. And while 3 to 5 videos per campaign is our, you know, minimum guidance, we also see a pretty significant uptick in performance when you leverage at least 5 to 7 videos, right? It gives you a major advantage over other campaigns.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just like more ammunition, like from someone who runs ad accounts, right? When things are not working, if you just let it not work and you're not testing aggressively, right? You're not really giving yourself a chance to see something turn around, right? Like you're basically just like rinse, repeat, doing the same thing over and over and expecting some magic is just going to come out of nowhere and your results are going to improve. Creative is that thing that allows you to test new angles and messaging very quickly when things aren't working. And it allows you to scale so much faster when things are working. And so like we do this in a number of different ways, but when we find a winning angle or a winning message, one of the first things that we do is start creating variations of that ad, right? Not the exact same thing, but changing it up. Why is this working? How can we adjust it, right? How can we scale it further? And then we also get inspired by affiliate videos that are working really well to create brand content. And we take the brand content that's working really well and we distribute that to our affiliate creator networks and we ask them to create content that's similar and we show them data as to why, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, I can get some sales here. So there's a number of different ways. And I think now too, especially over what's happened within marketing over the past 6 months to a year, the introduction of AI, the ability to be able to script, get ideation, edit videos very quickly, right? Has never, you've never had more tools available to you. And so I encourage everyone to lean into those. We have creative strategists on our team who can crank out videos, and we've had accounts go from a 1.5x to a 4x over the course of 2 days just because we've been able to introduce new creative, turn the account right around really quickly, and then scale from there. Whether it's B-roll, footage, voiceovers, there's a number of things you can do to increase these campaigns. One of our favorite tools that we're using right now, obviously CapCut, but Icon is another one to check out. Just a free piece of advice. They're growing really fast, and we've been using them to just produce a very high volume of creative for our clients. All right. What about quality?
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, I think with all this, like you talking about, testing and learning and finding the right recipe for success, that comes down also to the quality of the videos. And that's why, like you said, I think it's so important to make sure that the content is entertaining, that we're using products like CapCut, like Icon to tap into trends, right? Because I some CapCut, I know like some of their templates go viral on TikTok organically all the time. So it's really tapping into these culturally relevant moments as much as possible because our audiences want to be entertained not only by the organic content they see on their feeds, but they want ads to also entertain. And that's why you like get ready with me videos or recipe videos or outfits of the day videos. All of those kinds of content have the potential to integrate your product and also entertain users. I've caught myself scrolling on my For You page a million times, and I'm like, done with an ad and I didn't even notice it was an ad because I was actually genuinely invested in like, okay, yeah, what is she wearing? Or, oh, where's that top from? And this engagement, it's going to drive action in the long term.
Totally. The ads that you don't know are ads are typically the best performing ones. And it
Absolutely.
creates a sense of community around it too, right? So that's, and then it plays to the algorithm. The algorithm likes it. You're going to have lower CPMs. You're going to have higher click-through rates, right? TikTok would rather show an ad that's engaging to someone that's going to like it than an ad that even you're going to pay TikTok more for that doesn't have that engaging experience to it. So it's kind of like a hack if you can create these ads that don't feel like ads. All right. Well, I know that you at TikTok have some really awesome incentives for people to get off the ground here too. So I'd love for you to just kind of share some of the benefits that you have available to help people who maybe are looking at this and saying, "Hey, Ethan, Jimena, we know we need to invest in TikTok. We know we need to do it, right? But creative is a bottleneck for
Yeah.
us, right?"
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that too. And that's why we're building out products to address these blockers for brands who want to test TikTok, but maybe just don't have the bandwidth or the resources or the infrastructure to generate content in-house. So because we know all of this, TikTok offers a what we call creative content at scale solution, which is a 100% subsidized program that allows brands to unlock a higher volume of creative. So through this program, you can get up to 10 pieces of creative a week as long as you commit to investing a minimum of $2,000 in 30 days on the creatives that we provide. One thing I do want to note is that this program is exclusive to managed partners and can only be accessed either by partnering with Agital or your own partnerships manager. I know also, Ethan, on your end, when you guys are working with creator content at scale package, like you guys really are taking the lead on the brief ideation, brief creation, creator outreach, revision requests, product shipping, and more, correct?
Totally. Yeah, we like to make it very seamless for clients to be able to take advantage of these things because ultimately what it does is it puts us in a better position to deliver results for the client. So it's in our best interest as well.
100%. And I think this is a good product to leverage as well if you're struggling with affiliate marketing, because it is a bit of like a lower lift than an affiliate strategy. So if you want something that's a little bit of a lower lift, or also if you're just struggling to get affiliates to collaborate with you. I know this can be a struggle for some brands who are net new to the platform and have products that are net new to TikTok Shop. It can be hard to incentivize affiliates to, to work with you. So this is a good package for those advertisers that truly are net new, and are just looking to get a cold start on the platform. Um,
Definitely. TikTok's been amazing with the incentives and opportunities it provides agencies and brands to invest more. And I think, you do it because you know the results that it can generate for businesses. So it's a really, really smart strategy.
yeah. And I know, well, this is one of our newer offerings, but another one of our newer product offerings, and Ethan, I'll let you take it away with this, are search campaigns.
Yes. So this is something that I am super bullish on, is the ability to leverage TikTok as a search platform as well. So you think about this, like when I travel these days and I'm in a new city, right? Previously, I would go into Google and I would type in restaurant or I would type in things to do. I go to TikTok now, hands down. It's just a better experience the way you're able to see content that's so relevant, that's so visual, that's so engaging and fun. And it's user generated, it's authentic, right? And so this is a huge thing, and you see this within large publications really understanding how much search is happening on the platform. I think for one of the first times in a while, you've seen Google's market share of search actually start to decline. And that's really because those people are moving over to solutions like TikTok. You're going to hear some people say, oh, it's AI, it's that. I still think Gen Z especially is using it as their default search platform. And the way it's set up is really, really unique. So, 61% of these TikTok users are discovering new brands and products on the platform. That's, hands down greater than any other platform. And, inside the app itself, there's a lot of ways to search and discover that are really unique. And TikTok does a great job of using all these different signals and touch points to create the best possible experience. So we wanted to highlight how these things actually work, right? You have your traditional features that everyone's familiar with, like your search bar, and then you have suggestions underneath, right? I think everyone on this webinar has probably seen something similar to that on another platform or has used it within TikTok. But then how does TikTok get the best possible results, right? Because that's one thing to have the searches happening, but to really grow that market share, you need to be able to show people really relevant content. And they do this in a number of ways. Comment highlighted keywords is really, really interesting to me. So they're sort of scraping all these different things and pulling in these commented highlighted keywords, and you're able to kind of go down more discovery from there. There's comment related search. So they're leveraging all the comments that are happening inside the videos, right? And using that to drive more inspiration for different things. There's the search bar itself within the video. So you're starting to look at videos. You can do different search happening outside of that. And then there's related search anchors, right? So this ability to be able to kind of read the content, know what's happening, and then feed that back into the algorithm to drive even more search, I think is why the search experience on TikTok is so unique and so engaging. And it's because they're not just thinking one dimensional. There's all these different things happening within the platform that they're then leveraging and bringing back to ultimately the user experience, which is really, really awesome to see. And now with the introduction of search ads, where you can actually go in and you can plug keywords in to ad campaigns and test that way, there's a lot more opportunity to take your campaigns to the next level. So I was actually doing this for the rollout that I was working on earlier. So we're running some product shopping ads. So I went inside their seller center, and inside seller center, you get some really great data on keyword search. You can see trending, you can see new, right? Kind of up and coming. You can see historically high performing keywords. You can see the volume, and then you can see direct correlation to what products you have available for those search phrases. And then you can take those and plug that back into your ad groups, right? And you can create search-based ad groups for different campaign types. So this is something that we've been leveraging a lot. So I went in, this client's in the health and wellness space, found some pretty cool trending searches that I know match their product descriptions and product catalogs, plug those into a keyword search campaign. Maybe we'll have to come back to this, see how those are performing. But I also think this is a really good, an opportunity to also change up your creative. because the core of advertising and marketing is the right message to the right user at the right time. And the ads that you're using, top of funnel, video shopping ads or live shopping ads, right, might not be the best ads to use inside of a search campaign. So I think that when you're creating content, you want to create it for a specific area of the funnel. And as you get to this place where you're starting to see some traction, you're starting to build out more branches of your funnel, like you have your foundational elements of, new user acquisition, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, start doing a little bit more testing. This is where I encourage you to think about creative for search campaigns because they are a little bit different than some of the creative that we would just run in a video shopping ad. Jimena, I would be curious any thoughts you have on this because this is something we're really actively testing as well at the agency with our creative strategists.
Yeah, I think for search ads, there's a lower barrier of entry because when it comes to in-feed ads like VSA, for example, like content is going to matter a lot and creative fatigue is going to be a more prominent issue. But with search ads, what our team has found is that um, while yes, like different kinds of creatives perform better on search ads than, a VSA, there's less creative fatigue. And so that's an advantage for brands who again aren't maybe equipped to produce a very high volume of content or of ads. And so I think that's why search ads is a great, even though it's a newer product, I do think it's great for brands who are just trying to test the waters a little bit. Because there's that lower barrier of entry where really we don't have to be refreshing creative every, 3 to 4 days as we typically would with a VSA. We can wait a little bit longer, wait a couple of weeks before refreshing.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to some of the product shopping ads, maybe, where the content's got a longer shelf life.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And Sonia, we'll definitely get to some awesome case studies around food and shelf-stable products later on. And we have some really cool incentives actually too as part of the badge partnership that we're rolling out with TikTok. So we've got a lot more content to go. We're going to get through it pretty quick. We definitely want to make sure we have opportunity for Q&A. So we might hang on a little bit later. I would definitely will. But just wanted to call that out. I think food and beverage is one of the most exciting spaces that we're seeing on TikTok Shop, along with personal care, health, and wellness as well. So just to kind of recap though, right, these search ads, obviously creative, keyword, and then user inquiries are really going to be the keys to success here. If you have a good relationship between these three factors, you're going to win the auction and you're going to get the most high intent purchasers, right? Looking for your products with the most relevant creative. I mean, that's a match made in heaven. That's what everyone's looking for when they start advertising. So if you're not running search right now and you're seeing some success, you're in that like 5K plus budget range, we definitely encourage it. Or if you feel really strong about your product descriptions and you develop some creative for search, it could also be a nice entry point. Like I said, I'm running on one of the accounts that I was working on earlier today, where we're starting off with some product shopping ads and we're using some search stuff to test out how that ad group performs versus more traditional interest and broad and lookalike audiences. All right, so some more do's and don'ts. I'll let you tackle these.
Yeah, very high level. We'll go over these very briefly, but high level do's and don'ts. I think the main recommendations to keep in mind are going to be number one, ensure your budget is competitive. Number two, begin leveraging search campaigns with add to cart as opposed to immediately testing complete payment. And then three, making sure that your keywords are directly related to the content. And the reason why this last one in particular is very important is because our intelligence does comb through the content. And if it determines that there's a disconnect between the creatives and the keywords that were entered, then your ad is less likely to perform. We have a lot of exciting developments around search campaigns in 2025. It's definitely one of our like product priorities for the year. And Ethan, you guys will be, as always, the first to get to test these new tools and products. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the world of search.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to innovate on those with you too. I know we've got on the Agile side, historically a really great search presence, and we have some people who are just so amazing at what they do there, from SEO to paid search. And so there's going to be a lot that I think we're going to be able to accomplish together. So to take it back to, we just want to quickly recap some of the different terminology you might hear. So Spark ads, right? Spark ads are really important on the platform. Spark ads are this native format that allow you to repurpose this organic content, right? And really maximize, I think, your social proof on the platform. So this is really, really great. They work because they're seamless. They fit into the For You page, and they're a best practice whether you're working with creators or you're working with your in-house creative team and doing more brand content. And there's a number of different things you can leverage here, from audio to native landing pages or lead forms, right? And then also responding to comments in the videos themselves, but then using that to generate more potential Spark codes as well. And then creators increase return on ad spend. So we see this all the time. This goes back to, I think, like creative volume. So the more affiliate posts that you have coming in, the more your agency or your in-house media buying team or your GMV max campaigns are going to be able to optimize from. So, you want to be smart about your sample sends. I think we don't want to just send out samples to everyone and anyone. You want to look at creators that have a high sample to post ratio, right? You want to make sure that creators don't post one time and then never post again. So you want to re-engage them. We do this constantly with our affiliate team. And you want to then leverage them to come back to your more like owned communities where you're involving them on product launches, right? You're creating different tier-based creator tools and incentives. And so, creator will definitely, like, the more volume of creator content you have, you'll see a direct correlation between your return on ad spend as well. So we highly encourage everyone to lean into creator-led content. Don't put all your eggs in that basket. You got to have brand content as well. But creator can be that thing to really help you take to the next level. All right. And then I know we have some exciting solutions on more of the high level branding and performance side that your team introduced to us that I was just really stoked on. So I'll let you tackle those. And then I do encourage everybody to stay around. We've got a really cool offer at the end of this. And so we'll get through these, but these are really exciting. So I want to make sure that we're able to share, because honestly, I learned about them for the first time a few months ago, and I was like, whoa, and we're starting to roll it out on campaigns and see some really awesome results.
Love it. Yeah. I think one of our most recent product developments has been unlocking commerce for these high impact upper funnel placements, because before brands had to choose between investing in upper funnel and not being able to link back to their TikTok shop, or running lower funnel TikTok shop ads. But we've really been able to integrate these two products. So we can now add shoppable links to placements like Top Feed, which is the very first in-feed ad a user sees on their For You page. And because it's such a premium placement, we're going to amass millions of impressions, and that's going to allow you to build custom audiences based off the engagement, the clicks to your TikTok shop homepage, clicks to your TikTok shop product page, etc. Um, and this powerful solution is recommended for really tentpole moments. So, big sales, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, new product launches, even celebrity collaborations. So, this is currently still in beta. So the shoppable link, or the shoppable click part of it, is still currently in testing, but Ethan and team have access to it. And like you said, we're starting to roll out some tests, and we're really excited for what the results are going to look like.
Yeah, we are too. I love this placement. I think it helps to make sure that your brand stays right top of mind. And for me, it's like the first thing I see, I'm gonna remember more than after I've been, scrolling on the app for 20 minutes. So I think this is a great solution for advertisers who are, really pushing brand awareness and really conscious of brand placement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of our other high impact, more like premium placements is Max Pulse or Pulse lineups. And we can also, again, leverage these shoppable tags, directing users to either your TikTok shop product page or home page. Pulse is really all about contextual placement. So it allows brands to align their ad with the top performing relevant content of their choice. And the Pulse content ranks in the top 4% of all organic content, just to be precise. So if we think about the user experience, and just as an example, like if you are a beauty fanatic and you're scrolling through TikTok and all of a sudden you see a video about makeup and it has over 1 million likes, you're going to be more engaged with that video, right? You're going to be like, oh, interesting, cool. Like I like makeup. And then you scroll once, and then right away, there you have an ad for a new makeup product with a shoppable link. So users are more immersed, they're more engaged, and that's why Pulse ads feel especially interesting and relevant. And actually, this I think is like really fun to think about, but our marketing science team actually found that Pulse can even outperform traditional interest targeting.
That is crazy. But it's not that surprising to me because you think about it, right? Contextually, it's being placed next to something that's viral, that's trending. And I bet that it just has such a ripple effect for the brand too, right? And especially for clients that are concerned about brand safety, this seems like a great way to get in front of them. And then it feeds into all your retargeting audiences on the platform. I'm sure, again, it has this ripple effect to other channels, as well as retail. So. Really, really cool solution. Really excited to test this with your team.
Yeah, and we do see that it drives a higher lift in ad recall, drives a higher lift in awareness, and also we even observed a 9% increase in purchase intent when leveraging Pulse.
Yeah, that's insane. The lift it would give to conversions. That's nuts. All right. Well, I think we talked about these things. You just mentioned the lift in ad recall and lift in awareness with these solutions, which again is not shocking to me at all. I want to chat through a little bit more about what we see working inside ad campaigns as an agency right now. And so I'll get through that really quick. Like this is a suggested investment strategy. So a lot of the things that we've talked about here, we want to make sure that you leverage, right? One of the most common things I see when I audit campaigns is that they're investing in one channel of these, but not the other. So maybe they're driving a lot of video views and they're doing a lot of awareness, but they have no conversion campaigns. Or maybe they're driving just conversion, right? But they're not doing anything brand awareness focused. Or maybe they've just totally forgot about a loyalty layer altogether on the platform, right? So we like to make sure that you're hitting each one of these buckets. And that's what's really going to create like sustainable long-term growth versus just focusing in on one or two of these. And we also suggest that clients look at these budgets monthly and develop quarterly roadmaps to make sure that they're pacing towards their goals, right? If ROAS is looking good within a goal or your KPIs like for brand awareness are looking good, we like to aggressively scale, but always make sure that the client approves. Everyone does budgeting differently. A smaller D2C store who's got a close-knit team might be able to scale up budget mid-month versus a larger company who's got monthly and quarterly budgets and needs to get things approved by the CFO and whatnot. So our team definitely works directly with you, but we really recommend a nice focus on awareness, nice focus on conversion, and nice focus on loyalty. When we do this, right, when we roll out a new account, we like to start off with video shopping and product shopping ads, and we benchmark this against GMV max. And so we're looking at return on ad spend, return on investment, and a true customer acquisition cost, which you can get from Seller Center. To do this, you got to make sure that you're segmenting out new versus returning audiences. One of the biggest things that I see when I audit accounts is people just don't have exclusions on their campaigns. And your exclusions can go pretty deep. You can exclude people who've bought from your TikTok shop. You can exclude people who've bought from your website with the TikTok pixel, and you can upload your customer list to make sure that if your goal is to use TikTok to acquire new customers, you're really hitting that audience. And then you can use all those audiences as well to drive up lifetime value. So you can create an audience of people who bought from your TikTok shop, right? They've bought your hero product and you're showing them another solution. Leveraging keyword search, we've talked about that, right? Creating dedicated affiliate campaigns is something we like to do too because it allows us a bit more control over the spend. We don't love, unless we have like a very, very small amount of content, we don't love to mix affiliate and brand content. We like to be able to adjust those budgets accordingly and then introduce a live shopping strategy when the time is right to, again, take advantage of all the things that you can do within the TikTok ecosystem. So this is kind of like one of the frameworks that we look at. And again, whenever I audit accounts, this is kind of what I'm looking at. Are they running BSA? Are they running PSA? Are they doing brand plus performance? So are they spending on brand awareness or not? Are they segmenting out users? Do they have the right exclusions and the right retargeting audiences? Have they tested keyword search? Do they have a dedicated affiliate campaign? And have they done anything with live shopping? And then offer testing as well. So this is key. Everyone knows the importance of offers to drive urgency. So we like to make sure that we're testing these pretty frequently in accounts. The call to actions can change, right? And this is another way that you can increase your creative output. If you have really good B-roll, you can test different offers and create new videos like that. So it's really nice. We definitely like to make sure we do like more segmentation as we get spend up. So, if you're a health and wellness brand, the message that you show to someone who's maybe very active in the yoga community is going to be potentially different than someone who's active in the weightlifting community. And so having content and having interest audiences that match up to that is what we call like a segmentation matrix. We like to make sure that, we're doing some stuff to get first party data. Sometimes we run retargeting to collect email addresses. And then again, we've seen really great results with Spanish speaking content on TikTok Shop specifically. And so with that, we like to segment out potentially campaigns by language as well. All right. And then do you want to take your stuff to the next level? We would definitely recommend more engagement with your affiliates. So not just seeding the product and hoping that they post, but making sure that they post 3+ times, giving them call to actions and verbiage and messaging, right? Doing monthly drops with them that you're planning 1 to 2 months in advance. And then in your brand content, doing like what we call video series. So this allows you to test sort of different angles and different hooks on more of a scheduled basis. Take advantage of all the things that TikTok has to offer, like polls to drive engagement. And then make sure you're testing different offers, whether it's free shipping, 10% off, buy one, get one, two for the price of one, right? All these different things to create urgency and take advantage of like kind of a FOMO or just, drive like actual conversions. And then some case studies in here. So Easy Bombs is a client that we've worked with that's seen just incredible success using video shopping ads, GMV Max, and PSA. A Good Ass Day, which is a really fun client to work with. They've been able to scale up really aggressively on the platform as well and seen some really amazing KPIs with a number of different campaigns. And then Willow Boutique, our first ever tester on TikTok Shop, who has really seen the platform evolve, is just a really great case study as well. Looks like we have case studies published on all 3 of these. So if you do want to learn more, we encourage everyone to check those out on our website and as part of the badge partnership. And now we get into the offer that we teased a little bit. So for a limited time, right, we've partnered with TikTok and we have some really cool activation credits for shops that are potentially getting going on TikTok, and want extra incentive to be able to test. So Jimena, I want to thank you and your team for giving this the opportunity. If you are interested, make sure you scan that QR code right now, and you can get up to 2.5K in ad credits for TikTok Shop with us as the agency from now until the end of Q2. So scan that QR code. Our team will reach out to you and schedule a meeting. We're happy to do free audits. I'll join those calls. We can work through different strategies and chat through if it's a good fit. And this is obviously an added incentive to be able to test the waters and see if we can find some stuff that works and help you create a new sales channel within TikTok and TikTok Shop. Awesome. Well, we're getting closer to the end here, so we do have a poll. We definitely want to hear if anybody would like a free TikTok consultation where we can go in, get access to your ad account, get access to your seller center, your affiliate center, start looking over the data, right? Figuring out, hey, where is the opportunity for me, right? Who's seeing success in the space? What type of strategy would you put forward? We are happy to do this for you. So definitely don't hesitate to let us know and our team will reach out. And additionally, if you are a good fit, we can take advantage of some of those awesome ad credits that TikTok has made available to us. Cool. Well, we will definitely open it up to questions as well. So I'll go through and just see if there's any questions right now. I know Jimena, you had a hard stop, so I appreciate you staying on. And a few minutes extra, and just want to thank you again for joining. But I'll go through and hang on and just see if we have some good questions as we again let people request consultations and take advantage of those ad credits. So we have one here from Daniel Park. Our company is a retailer D2C company, very focused on conversion, bottle of funnel. We want to venture into new options and focus on brand awareness or full funnel approach. How do you guys typically measure success and growth when doing a full funnel approach? So we like to look at obviously CPMs and click-through rates when we're running more brand awareness. If you're doing like video views or reach, that we also want to look at video views. The cost per video view is a big important metric, but also like, are they actually watching the full video? And then we correlate that back to like bottom of funnel campaigns. So one of the biggest indicators for us that something is working is when we're running like more top of funnel and we see the return from our bottom of funnel increase. Then we know that it's really doing its job and it's accelerating the growth that we're able to see. You can also run like conversion campaigns top of funnel. You just got to make sure that you have the right exclusions there. One of the things that I don't like when I see is like going super, super broad with your targeting. And it's like what happens is the algorithm can kind of lock in on the same people and you're not exposing your product or your brand to new eyeballs. And so, if you want to stay conversion focused, that's okay. But then add in exclusions. Like make sure you're excluding everyone who's visited your website, who's purchased on TikTok Shop, who's viewed a product page, and then label accordingly. So you can run conversion as a top of funnel strategy if you have really deep exclusions at the audience level. Let's see what else. Creative suggestions to land sales or for land sales. So Stephanie, is that for like actually plots of land, like more of a yeah, like I want to make sure that I understand the question. So if you have a little bit more insights on that, let us know. That's probably more of like a lead generation campaign, if I understand it correctly. Like it's more of a real estate strategy. For that, I would definitely talk about in the creative, like the opportunity. And then the call to action there would obviously be filling out a lead form. And then best practices there, I would definitely make sure that the people reach out quick. TikTok's obviously very good at like geo targeting too. So whether it's the organic algorithm or the paid algorithm, both of those things are going to work in your favor if you're going after land sales. And let's see, what else do we have in here? We will definitely be circulating a replay. So the marketing team does an amazing job of getting these out really, really quickly. So you will be able to access this in real time as well. And I know we wanted to revisit food and beverage. Food and beverage is one of the fastest growing things that we see on the app. One of the great things about food and beverage is it's so unique. So I'd encourage you to check out a tool like Fastmoss or Calidata, where you can go in and you can check out product categories for food and beverage, and you can see which sellers are selling the best. What I love about TikTok Shop right now is within food and beverage, you're seeing a lot of brands start on TikTok and TikTok Shop and then make a push to like larger retail. And the retail loves this because they see, oh my gosh, they've got all this pent up demand, right? They've got brand recognition. Things seem to be going well here. We want to take advantage and we want to start featuring their products in our stores too. So it's kind of like a hack where now you can start on TikTok Shop D2C and then you can make your push into retail if that's ultimately your long-term goal. Any thoughts on selling cars as a dealership? So this is an interesting one. I don't have any direct experience selling cars. I'm more in the e-com space. I know that they released some new features recently, I think around like catalog campaigns and things that you can do for car dealerships. One of the first things I would think about is like your geo targeting. Second thing I would think about would be like the ability to actually differentiate, show the cars themselves, kind of give people more of like a walkthrough, almost like you would like a house, where you can do like these tours, right? I think that would work really well. I know that there's some car dealerships, like I can't remember the name of it. It's like some Chevy dealership. It's like leaning into like office style parody content. I think that fits into like the engagement that we like to see and the entertainment value of the platform, you know, that's definitely something to look into. It might not be for everybody, but can definitely work effectively. And then lead generation ads would be the other thing that I'd recommend. We see really low cost per lead on TikTok compared to other platforms. And so if you're able to get their phone number and their email, and then you can follow up really quickly, like that would definitely be a best practice that I would recommend. The other thing you could be is like this or that. You could do like different poll types. Could be another thing that you leverage, right? We talked about that within the engagement section of the campaign. So those would just be a few thoughts. But again, not exactly my expertise as I'm super e-commerce focused, but great question. And I know TikTok is definitely pushing into that area as well with some of their new features. I would also probably go to like TikTok has some really awesome published case studies on their website that you could probably even learn from. So if you go to like probably type into Google or TikTok, like TikTok auto case studies, I bet you'll get a lot of results from the platform itself that kind of recommend some different best practices there. All right, everybody. Well, I really appreciate the time today. This is super fun. I love talking about TikTok because I think it's just such a unique opportunity in the space right now. I really can't remember a time, maybe back in like 2016, 17, when Instagram was getting going, that there was this much opportunity for e-commerce brands to be able to grow extremely quickly. So definitely check out TikTok. Let us know if you'd like to jump on a call and have us do an audit, and hopefully we can be able to provide some value. And if it works out and we're able to work together, that would be amazing. And if not, we really like to just come from a place of giving value, giving insights, and we feel like good things will come around. So really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much, and we will all talk very soon. And yes, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I've got the link down there for you. And I definitely post a lot of things on there as well. So you'll see if you check out my recent posts, like audits, strategies that we're working, things that we're pulling right out of the agency and just sharing with the general public. So definitely connect and let me know if you have any questions. But thank you, everybody, and talk to you soon.